Can you hear me? Hello, Prof. I
Maybe if you could
am.
take off your mask just for a minute, if you don't mind, because sometimes through the mask, the voice gets muffled.
Okay, good evening, Prof. My name is Mei Lian. I used to be an alumni. I used to be in the sorry, I graduated from law school in NUS, but I have been a housewife and just recently been interested in politics. My question is because I've got a young son, he's 24, and he hasn't seen a world where ASEAN is as strong as I have seen ASEAN. When we talk about human rights and human responsibilities and a multipolar world, could you comment on sovereignty in ASEAN and also how we can strengthen ASEAN while the US and China are reaching out and courting this region?
That is an excellent question on which to close. Now, I know you could probably give a full 35-minute answer on this, but I'm going to ask you to keep your remarks to a few minutes, and then I'll hand back to our hosts to close this evening's proceedings.
Yeah, I mean, James knows me too well. I'm a passionate lover of ASEAN. And as you know, I co-authored a book called The ASEAN Miracle. And even though lots of people around the world rubbish ASEAN, I actually think that ASEAN is still producing miracles all the time. I mean, just to give you an example, the most stunning thing that's happened in January 2022, this month, is the launch of a regional comprehensive economic partnership. Now, if you ask these three large economies, Japan, China, South Korea, to sit together with each other, three of them, negotiate a free trade agreement, it will fail. There's so much distrust. ASEAN proposes it under the umbrella of RCEP. Guess what? We have launched a free trade agreement within Japan and South Korea, within Japan and China, China and South Korea. How? ASEAN did it. And this is an amazing achievement. This is going to provide the biggest boost to global economic growth in 2022. And nobody knows that ASEAN did it, which is shocking, right? So the ASEAN story is, of course, a very complicated story. And frankly, ASEAN is a organization where every few years, some ASEAN country will get into trouble. Right now, as you know, Myanmar is in trouble, Malaysia is struggling, right? And yet, other parts of ASEAN are still functioning very well. Indonesia is doing very well. That's why I wrote an article called The Genius of Jokowi that was published in Project Syndicate a few months ago. So within ASEAN, if you're looking for a region of hope in the world, right? Frankly, very few regions in the world today can be as hopeful and as optimistic as the ASEAN region. So I still remain tremendously optimistic. And I also think, just very quickly, that the US-China contest is going to bring opportunities as much as challenges for ASEAN.
Thank you very much, Kishore. So that brings to an end our formal proceedings for this evening. I'd just like to say a note of thanks from my side. That was a very stimulating discussion, and exactly as we've come to expect from Kishore, a tour through a huge variety of different ideas, from Confucius to John Rawls to Joe Biden and Xi Jinping. So it was great fun to chair. Thank you for that. And let me welcome our host this evening, Jennifer, back up to the stage to close proceedings this evening.
Yes, I would like to second that. I would like to thank both of our illustrious speakers who have given us a brilliant evening's enlightenment and entertainment. That's Kishore Mahbubani and James Crabtree. I would also like to thank their excellencies who are in the audience, and ladies and gentlemen as well, who are here tonight, as well as everyone who is watching us, whether on Zoom or on YouTube, or will be watching on YouTube in the future, because this is going to be up for a very long time to come. I would just say, If you would like to find out more about the China Society or consider joining and becoming a member, we're always looking for new blood. So if you're here tonight, you will have a goodie bag by your seat, which has a couple of newsletters in, which have an address where you can go to sign up. If you're online, you can go to the China Society website and look us up there. So once again, I would just like to thank our speakers, the committee, and everyone who has joined us here tonight. I hope you have a great evening and a great 2022. Thank you very much.